Okay, does anybody have any questions about the game, what I want to do with it, or where I'm going with it? See, sometime soon I'm going to make a level 1 for the game on the one character. In the past, I'd been giving out examples or prototypes. Not prototypes, more like initial alpha versions for the game to see how well it worked. Came to the conclusion that it worked really well, and I've started just building the content for it recently. And it's been going over pretty well when I try to explain what I'm doing, so I think I'm on the right track. But you never know. But. Yeah, calling her Miss Dio will get you a boot to the head. It's not going to work very well. So the game is no longer about a slime girl. Now, the slime girl was always just a pretense for something I could talk about. I had another game about stretchy people that I didn't really have much interest in. That was one of the different concepts that I went through, and just doesn't quite feel right. Something's off about it. I might get back to that eventually. They're asking if you are Miss Roommate.
Why does there have to be a miss in front of it?
I don't know why it has to be a miss. Does that even spread? I don't know if a single block of that spreads. I guess we'll find out. I'm just using the netherrack as a canvas right now. You say stretchy game. Stretchy people made out of slime, and they can do all kinds of funny platforming things by extending parts of their bodies. You swear there's a game you can think of? The inspiration for that was Bionic Commando. It is ye old Nintendo game. And at some point in the future, that might be fun to make. Like, there's a number of games I would like to make that would be fun, that I just like to have a bit of fun with the style or the mechanics, or just make my own version of them. Like, eventually, I want to make myself a Bomberman game. I want to make a game where you run around and place bombs on stuff, and you blow up mazes for blocks. And you get all of the upgrades and the power-ups, and then you go try to blow up your friends. That's not going to be anytime soon. I'd also like to make some kind of roguelike game in the future. Something that's difficult, but not overly so. Something where you can run around getting a bunch of different upgrades. Kind of like Rogue Legacy, actually. That game was really fun. Will the plant girl speak? Yes. At the very least, the characters in the game need to speak to the player so the player knows what's going on. Because you can't be communicating what's going on with just their ideas. I want to give them some personality, and I want to give them some kind of chat about how their powers work. Because if we just say, yeah, we're making stuff, it appears like video game magic. And I want it to be more defined than just, let's make random stuff in a video game. I want it to have some kind of purpose behind it. And to do that, I either need to make the character speak, or I need to put in a lot of lore inside the world. And lore inside a completely empty world doesn't work.
Well, you can have lore about the world builder. Beyond the world that you're actually in, how they came to be.
Lore about them. I guess that would work. If I didn't want them to speak, I could be putting in things that they experience every so often, put in dreams or put in something.
Maybe this is not their first world they built.
Oh, it's definitely not the first world they've built. Ah, that character anyway. See, I've got a couple of characters, possibly a third. The Nature Girl has built up worlds before, and will have memories of such. About things going wrong or about them going right, being able to share memories or experiences. The girl who likes fire, on the other hand, has never done this before. She's rather naive when it comes to this, and she just kind of bumbles around trying to find the best way to do it. And sometimes that's wrong. Sometimes she decides that nothing is worth keeping over here and starts anew. Whoop. Disco made a Bomberman map in Minecraft. I don't want to make a Bomberman thing in Minecraft. Minecraft already has enough content. If I wanted to make something in Minecraft, I'd be using it like a platform, not as an actual game. Although I guess a Bomberman map would be that. It's like, as much as I like Minecraft, there are some things that don't work in it. You can do anything you want in Minecraft, except for build the game that I want to make. Because Minecraft doesn't lend itself to how I want to do it. There's a lot of hill here. A lot of flatness down there. Well, I can put up a hill over here, put that up there, and then probably just carve that out. Heck, let's do that. Let's do some terraforming. Also, it's getting dark. Will the other characters be unlockable, or will they be available from the start? I'm thinking available from the start. Especially if there's only 2 characters. Yeah, I did say that it might be 3. See, one of them would like nature, one of them would like fire, and one of them likes change. And change expresses itself as alchemy. You change one thing into another. Though I believe that Tatsu would be the one rather interested in doing that. So I will leave that up to him. Let's just flatten out this whole thing over here. That's everything. There are documents for a third character. Yep. Just because there are designs for a character like that doesn't mean that they end up in the game. It's like, you can put down designs for anything, and you can make hundreds of years of designs for a game inside something, but eventually you're going to have to decide where to cut content and where you're going to have to pick what you want to do and how you want to do it. I want to build a story in the game after I get all of the main features up in there, but I'm not sure that's going to happen either. Because you need to get the actual game first. There's so much dirt around here. I'm going to go grab my Marissa hat. That way I make sure I grab every last block of dirt. To be fair, if you have a character that can create things by projecting their imagination out into reality, you can put pretty much any kind of character in there. Like, you want somebody who wants to make the world a giant pile of spikes, and they just happen to like having spikes everywhere, and they make, like, their animals are made out of spikes, their structures are all spiky. They make everything the other characters do except, I'm making it really pointy today. Well, that's the way it's gonna be. Will the game have expansions to add other characters and mechanics later on, or will it just be one big game? I don't know. It might have expansions later. It sounds kind of fun. Might be something I work on for quite a while. At the same time, I'm not even worried about something like expansions right now, without getting enough of the base game on there to know if it should have expansions. You have no idea of the build cycle of the game? I don't have a good idea on the build cycle of the game right now either. I'm just trying to build out the first little bit of content so that we can decide what that is. Because once you get something to work with, something to build on, you can decide what to go with from there. And since it's more or less just me right now, building all the things out, the whole design, all of the code and everything, I guess the build cycle is whenever I get around to it. Sad as that is. This has been having prototypes, and it's been somewhat in development for such a long time that it's really hard to say what the build cycle is going to be. You hear sizzle? Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Well, it's a good thing this is a live stream and not a video recording. Oh, wait a minute. But seriously though, it's a good thing that this is a live stream and we can have things going on in the background, like the lovely Raikala making delicious sausage for breakfast. Nothing. Nothing.
What?
Hmm?
Heard my name.
Nothing. There's nothing going on over here. I'm just mining some dirt. I'm not talking about what you're making for breakfast. Yes, yes, I'm glad you're eating breakfast. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it? I've got a lot of the game concepts down now. I need to go put them into action and see how long the build's going to take. You know, write down the designs. There shouldn't be enough to define the build cycle within the next day or two. I just need a day or two to get it right. It's morning there? Yeah, it's morning here. It's 3:18 p.m. Totally morning. And I have a lot of dirt. Dang, do I have dirt. I'm gonna do something with all of this dirt later. Maybe make myself a dirt castle. A dirt sculpture. I have a lot of dirt that I keep needing to put somewhere. Maybe I'll make a dirt castle in the sky. For you, questions will arise with the playing of said game, not before. That is fair. Whoop. There goes my shovel. Let's go grab a new one. So whenever you get your hands on it, you will make a list for you. Cool. I'm not sure about the release timetable. I need to meet with somebody today, and I need to go write down more design document stuff, and I need to go start making the actual UI for the game. Like, the concepts are there, the things are there, but all of the pieces need to be put together properly before they can get to the point where, well, we have fun with it. Okay. I guess we went from Diggy Diggy Hole to Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. Such a lovely name for a shovel. Should have named it the combination of the three. What's their fusion name? I don't know. The three of them don't fuse that often. Yeah, well. There's a lot of dirt over here, too. I really wish Minecraft blocks stacked higher. Like, only stacking up to 64 seems really silly when we've got this much space. I'd like them to stack up to about 250. I don't think there's any mods for that, though. I wouldn't mind if it was 1.6 specific and it changed the save file. I really wouldn't mind that. Alexandrite. Their name is Alexandrite. Okay. What is a build cycle? So a build cycle is how often a program, a product, or a game gets built. It's also known as a release cycle. When you have something like an MMORPG, a build cycle is how often you release a new version of the game. So let's take League of Legends, for example. League of Legends likes to do new updates on... Or Riot makes new updates on League of Legends every week, I believe. And every week they either add new content, or they adjust something, or they work on something that updates for everybody around. So in the process of that week, they have to do building of new content. They have to do tweaking of existing content. They have to do bug fixes. They have to do lots of testing. And then they have to actually release the thing. And this happens fairly regularly every week. With Tinker's Construct, I had a build cycle of 2 weeks. And the build cycle was pretty well defined. As a single person, I could do everything myself. So I would... Let's see. It wasn't necessarily the same day every week. Every 2 weeks. Usually you pick a day and go, we're going to release on Friday. I would usually try to release on Tuesday or Wednesday, but having lots of time, sometimes it would be the weekend, and sometimes it wouldn't. Whoop, I'm hungry. So in the process of building Tinkers, let's say a new build had just gone out. So the first thing I would do is take a couple days off and just let it go. Then I would start fixing bugs as people started reporting them. So let's give it about 3 days where it's just out in the wild and I start fixing things. Then we need to make new stuff. So we pull up everything and we pick the next thing that needs to be made. Or we pick something at random. Depends on what we want to make. Let's say we're working on the smeltery. Maybe not the smeltery. The smeltery took 6 months to build. Maybe let's say we need to look at modifiers. So we go get a bunch of modifiers and we need to add maybe a single new one because there's not enough modifiers in this particular category. We need more speed, or we need more damage, or we need something, and we don't have the design document available anymore because the design document has been more or less filled out all the way. We've gotten to the point where the build cycle has been going really regularly and we've already built out most of the content for the game. So we decide that we need more modifiers. So we go examine all the current modifiers in the game, see which one we want. Then we start building it and we do a bit of testing to make sure that it's in line. Then we go add all of the textures. We add all of the supporting code, like text, like documentation. If we have anything resembling new systems in the game, we have to go build those or try to add them to existing systems. You usually try to build up things like the tool station so they can just add things like modifiers really quickly. So something like the tool station or the smeltery, which is a whole big thing in and of itself, can take a lot longer. But we still want to get a build out every 2 weeks so that people can test it. So maybe we add a couple things in the meantime while we're making this big thing. So let's say we've got 3 days for building, and we've got a week and 2 days for for actually... Oh, wait. 3 days for testing and a week and 2 days for building. That leaves us 2 days. And those 2 days are for testing. They are for things like marketing, where you go and say, hey, there's a new version out. So you go upload it, you go and post it on maybe Twitter or Minecraft forums or wherever the update needs to go. You let everybody know about it, and then you let it go for a couple days. Like, okay, that's fine. Go start working on any projects you have or anything you want to work on the side. Maybe you're still working on the smeltery, so you go work on that while you let everybody else have it. And it just continues again and again and again. Every time you pick something different to work on, you go build it, you test it, and you go with it. You have a silly request. Can you make the UI menu stretchy, like a rectangle of rubbery slime that snaps back to the original shape when released? If I was building a game with stretchy people, and with lots of silly, funny things in it, yes, I would. Since I am not, I'm going to pick something that fits the game. I already have something in mind.